Hey everybody, and welcome back to RNBHomestead. Today we're going to talk about 10 essential things you should stock up on that I personally stock up on and I have prepared just in case of emergency. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that every time I post a video you're notified. Make sure to give it the thumbs up and share it with everybody so that everybody can have this information. So let's get into this video. So welcome back to the video. So let's get right into it. 10 things that are essential that you stock up on. Just in case of an emergency, these are the 10 things that I suggest you stock up on. Number 1, water. Water, 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 water. I cannot stress that enough. Water. No matter what disaster happens, you may or may not have access to clean water, and you need water to survive, period. Period. So, I suggest not only getting, like for instance, not only getting bottled water, which is excellent to have. You can get the cases of bottled water. You can get the jugs of bottled water. If you're lucky enough to have your homestead now, or even if you have a balcony or a patio and you can put a barrel out there and collect rainwater, that's wonderful. Also make sure that while you're collecting that rainwater that you get a way to sterilize that rainwater. You can get the little tablets, or you can get the little filters, or you could actually buy a Berkey. Now, I haven't graduated to a Berkey yet because as we know, they cost money. But I do have the individualized portable sterilization sticks to use to sterilize water just in case. And I always try to keep at least 3 gallons per day per person in the house. So me personally, it's just me, but I just think you should have a lot of water. So I keep at least 10 to 12 cases of the 36 pack of water on hand. So, number 2, blankets. I'm notorious for blankets. I love blankets. So, I love those bags, the blankets in the bag, especially when they're on sale. You can get them for like $20 and you get the blanket, the quilt, you get the sheets and whatever. But what you can do is you can get those little blankets that you can get in the big box stores that are rolled up. They usually are $5 or whatever, good flannels. So these are things that you should always stock up on. Water, blankets. Oh, and if I'm looking down, it's because I got my book. Because I want to make sure you have all the information. Number 3, candles. Well, Rain's Natural Beauty, I make candles. You may not make candles. So I suggest you get some candles. Just in case you lose light, you can use them in a candle heater for heat purposes. Candles are essential items for me, in my opinion, just in case. So you can get the little tea lights. You can get the big candles that burn for a couple of hours. Personally, I just keep lots and lots and lots of candles around because they can be used for various functions. Number 4, matches and lighters. There's no need to have candles if you can't light them. Common sense. So I also keep, now I'm a non-smoker, but I also keep a lot of lighters. So I keep the lighters that has the long handles, because I don't do that flick thing. That's not me. But a push little button and the lights, I like those. But also, just in case, make sure you get some matches. Matches will never go out of style. And you can get the matches just in case they get wet. They still are light, because you never know. So make sure you get some lighters and some matches. Number 5, first aid kit. I used to be a foster parent. You never know what can happen. Always need a first aid kit. I have a lot of allergies. Definitely need to keep a first aid kit. So in your first aid kit, what I have in mind, I have Benadryl, I have Neosporin, I have Band-Aids, I have bandages, I have scissors, I have peroxide, I have alcohol, all these things that can be used in case of emergency. For instance, the bandages can be used as a tourniquet if you hurt your arm. Of course, the bandage, you can use the Neosporin to disinfect the areas. So just make sure that you have a safety kit just in case of an emergency. One of my essential things, because you never know what can happen. Next, needle and thread. Now, I am not one to say that I'm an expert in sewing, but I won't walk around with holes in my clothes. So make sure you have a needle and thread. Somebody might say, well, I have a sewing machine. Well, if you don't have no electricity, then what? So, needle and thread, 99 cents. Thread can also be used, the needle and thread can stitch up a wound, just in case. Trust me, I used to be law enforcement, first responder. Hey, you have to, your job is to stay safe. So you can use a needle and thread for that. You can use thread as to buckle, like say for instance, you're going through, I was law enforcement, of course, in Florida where there's the swamps. You can use the thread to tie around your pants to make sure that the water doesn't get into your shoes. So there's all types of things you can do with thread, needle and thread. So make sure you have some needles and thread. Number 7. This is for the ladies. Make sure that you have feminine products. And people are like, oh, feminine products just for the ladies, which, I preface this with. But pads actually can be used to cover wounds, right? So you make sure that you have a source of feminine products to keep clean, because again, during an emergency, being healthy and clean and sterile is a necessity just in case, so it doesn't make things worse. So feminine products are, of course, for me, an essential item to have on hand at all times. Number 8, canned goods, non-perishable foods. Okay, so now with this one, you have to be careful, because again, you have certain people who can't have a lot of salt, and we all know they use salt in canned foods to keep them longer. So I would suggest, personally, so I use canning salt, so you can use that, but just make sure you have some perishable food and canned food on hand, just in case, because your refrigerator goes out, well, there goes all your frozen food, so what are you going to eat? And with canned foods, a lot of it is already pre-cooked and made, so you can use your portable stove or whatever over a campfire to heat up the food. So canned foods are always an essential for me, just in case. Always have canned food, perishable items in your pantry. Where we at? 9. Okay, so number 9. The manual can openers, you got to have them. If you don't have a manual can opener and you don't have any power, guess what? You just out of luck, right? So make sure you have a manual can opener. I have 2 on hand. I made sure they're the ones with the big handle so it's easier to turn. Also make sure that you have plastic cookware, meaning your plates, your bowls, and utensils, plastic utensils. Because again, in an emergency, the water should be used as far as to being cleanliness and for you to drink. You can, if you have leftover, to wash dishes, but why when if you have paper plates and you have utensils, you have the plastic utensils and the cups, that can save on the water, and I just have it as essential, just in case. And nobody had time to wash all those dishes either. And number 10 is very, 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 very important. You have to have a way, just in case you do have food that needs to be cooked or heated up, which you can have a way to do that. I have one of those foldable portable stoves, and I have a portable stove that's run by butane. Now, mind you, what did I tell you about the fumes? Butane stove, you use it outside. The portable stove actually uses those little candle burners that you get from the 99-cent store that you use to keep the pans and that warm when you have a party and the food. I forget what those little things are called, but they look little portable flames. You can use those on your portable little stove that you have, the foldable ones, and it'll heat it up. And you can actually, I'm gonna do a video. You can actually make some cornbread or even a cake in those portable foldable ovens. They're wonderful. But also, like the butane, you can get the little cans. You can get the cans that fit in the portable stoves. They're like $2. You can get a 6-pack for about $10 to $12 if you catch it on sale. The little portable stoves, you can get those for $9.99. And just in case you don't have no electricity, you don't have no gas, you still can cook your food or heat up your food. So again, my 10 essential items that you need to have at all times in case of emergency is water, blankets, candles, matches and lighters, first aid kit, portable stove or portable little oven, plastic utensils and paper plates and an actual manual can opener, perishable food, canned food, also needle and thread, and feminine products. So I hope this all helps you out. Right now, with all the natural disasters that are going on, please make sure that you have these 10 essential items in your pantry, in your home. You never know when you're going to use them. And what's the worst case scenario? That you have a lot of water,